action.
Okay, I'm Ruth Voss, and I'm the baby of my family. But there was 48 of us first cousins at one time when we were all little and growing up. And we're down to 11 at this time. Louis Aiden would have been the oldest one, and I think he was born in 1918. Then my sister Edith, Senna.
Who's the oldest in this family? You're bossing her up.
She was born in 1920, and then comes my sister Leona. She was born in 1922. And then comes Jim Reed, our cousin. He's the one who left from and he was born in 1924.
You can't take it.
Then comes Irene Williams. Would you stand up a minute? She was born in 1926.
No, stand up, Leon. I want your picture.
Then the next one is my brother Bud. He was born in 1927. And of course, the next year is 1930. So who was born in 1930? Please all stand up. Yay, you! No. Oh.
I was born in 25.
No, you weren't hurting.
That was a good year, huh?
Yeah.
Were they drinking wine that night or what? Were your parents drinking wine that night or what?
I don't know, that was a good year.
Arnie was the youngest.
Yeah, Arnie was the youngest.
Okay, yeah.
And Dorothy Grace and myself. And of course, Bertha is the one that brings up the baby. And she was born in 1932.
You forgot Jim. He was born in 25.
Yeah, Jim here, his family is... You were born in what year?
1925.
1925. Okay. So we were pretty well representative in the 1920s and the 30s. And I have one thing here, if you remember, when Jello came into circulation. Jello. It was in late 1930s, because we would go over to Uncle Albert and Aunt Emma's when they lived on the Sioux Valley Road in the afternoon, and that was such a treat to have Jello.
That we got it on Sunday.
Yeah, only Sunday. And then this picture that's in our brochure of those people standing on that plank.
Oh, the plank picture? Yes, we can get that picture up there.
That was, we were at Uncle Elvis that afternoon, and I think Irene and I are the two little ones there.
I know.
And did a lot of stuff. Kurt was there, and Ella, and Irene, and Oni, and Edith, and Pat was on that. Pat is on that picture also.
I got it along.
Here, I got it. Have you got it? Yeah. No, that's the same day that we had our picture taken.
This big picture they're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one.
So where was this at?
This was on Uncle Albert's farm when he lived on the Sioux Valley Road.
Oh, on the way to the dance hall place?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I don't know where that is.
And I'm the cutie one, waiting, standing on it. And next comes one way over here. Oh, she's one way up tonight. And the other little one is Irene.
Irene, where are you, Irene?
We were the little.
Oh, your little skirt right here?
Yeah.
There's Irene.
Anybody
There's Irene.
I didn't want to fall in the water, so that's why I was standing where I
Oh,
was.
that's such a cool picture. I love that.
Oh, Betty brought a picture of the whole place, and if your parents ever talked about summer kitchens, and Bert had one there, and she did all her canning out there and probably washed clothes out there also. My mom didn't have a summer kitchen with me, she had a back porch, and she had a 3-burner kerosene stove, which she did her canning on. And there are people that had summer kitchens on one part of their house. So does anybody remember that from your parents?
A summer kitchen?
Yeah. Okay.
So you didn't get the house?
They just wrote about summer kitchens in the Daily Globe. Yeah, because I was a good article in the blog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Eating the water for the laundry.
Okay, wait a minute. Don't tell the story unless you have the your hand, because we want Myra.
That's all I have.
That's all you have? Okay, hang on a second here. All right, you guys, we won't be able to hear the story of what they tell us if you guys are talking. Okay, well, you did a good job, Ruth, and I think I got to get up here. I'm recording this, so, you know, I hope that we can do some more talking here. But if you guys can be more listening, that would be good. Okay, I know you want to ask questions, but Betty's next. Some of the things I wanted her to talk about, and the rest of them is past reunions. Betty had a couple things to say to that, and then you add whatever you want to. You got to talk right into that thing.
Well, I'm Betty Hampson Walker, and my grandparents are Thade and Grace Lubben. And my folks were Rudy and Bertha Luebben Hampson. And there's three of us girls, Colleen, Shirley, and I. And we lived with the grandparents. They had their own rooms, but we lived on one side and they lived on the other side. But there was a porch that connected us. So us kids would always like to sneak over there and do their dishes because we get 10 cents for doing their dishes. So we always had a good time doing that. And I don't remember for sure when the first reunion was held, but it was out there on the farm, and my dad had passed away in '55, and it was after that, so it was probably in the late '50s. And there was 168 people there the first year, and then there was 300 there. 56. Oh, Ruth, you got it. Okay. Well, it's 56 it was started then. And then there was 300 people there the next year. And there's some pictures here I've got in the window of the first reunions we had. We had big crowds. And they had games for the kids, and they enjoyed it, and we had a good time. And then after that, we went to the city park. And we had good times there. We had a hobo day one year, and that was real interesting. We had a band, and they danced, and they had all dressed like hobos. And that was real cute. And then we moved over here to the senior center, which is real nice. It's air conditioned. You don't have to fight the bugs or anything like that. So
Good.
that's about all I remember the unions.
How about your mom and dad? Anything special? Your mom, what was...
Well, she worked hard to keep that grove clean because she liked the reunions out there. She had every twig picked up all the time. Yeah, she cleaned that grove.
I remember my folks being in Harley, Iowa, and a whole group of Lubbens came and we went through bean fields. And we did that as a family. And it's like, wow. You guys
went there
used to
one
do
time
that.
too, and she ever read your dad and mom.
Oh my.
The cows went with them. I should have ran behind them.
Yeah. Well, you want to pass the mic on to the next person to talk? Okay. Thank you, Betty.
My name is Dorothy Grace Jansen, and I'm named after my grandma, Oma, because her name was really actually Grace in English, and my mother, her name was Dorothea. And my parents were William and Dorothea Milstead. They were married October 13, 1912. And my father passed away in 1962, and Mom lived alone for 20 years, and she died in 1982. To this family, there were 10 children born. Erna, Victor, Hilda, Caroline, Eugene, or Jim, Robert, Leroy, myself, Bertha, and one brother deceased, Larry Levi. I remember the reunions down on the farm. I remember one time, it must have been a party we had, because I had a coat on, and I laid it on a car. And the next day, a big truck drove into Uncle Rudy's and wanted to know if this coat belonged to anybody. So the truck driver was nice and left it, so I got my coat back. And like Betty said, we went to the senior dining here in '87, and we had Christmas in July that time. How many of you remember Christmas in July?
What is that? Christmas is
We had,
Instead of having like this program, we had a Christmas program.
Oh, how fun.
I took Christmas cards and divided them, and you had to find your partner, and then you had to tell a story and sing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was Leona or Ida that won a prize that night.
Leona won a prize. She and Jim Aiden, they had a mistletoe on theirs. And
Yeah.
and they kissed again today. That's history.
Yeah, kissing cousins. The cousins that have done the reunion about 6 or 7 times, we're 81 now, and that would have been Arnie and Betty and Ruth and Bertha and Dwayne and myself. So we done it a lot of times, and I even came home from Cedar Rapids, Iowa at one time.
Oh my,
So we always have, most of the time, been here.
that's good.
And we get together as cousins on our birthday at the High-Low Club.
Oh, Monday night.
Yeah, very nice. That's, first cousins are really important in your life. Yep. Okay, Irene, your turn. Introduce yourself.
I'm Irene Williams, and I can't talk like the others. They said everything about the reunion already. I know we held it at Grandpa and Grandma's place, and we held it at the park, and then we held it at the activity center, and we held it now here at Senior Citizen, anywhere else that I can think of. And I had a lot of, and my parents' name was Albert and Emma Lubben, and I have 4 children. Lila Pierce, Lynette Huffbauer, Clayton Williams, Stephen Williams. And I have 2 of them here today, which I'm proud of.
You guys want to stand up and wave or something? Where are you? All right. Yay.
Yes, they did. And I remember at the park, one of my daughters, Lynette, was on the committee, and Wilmer and Bertha were on the committee, and I remember they ordered ice cream, and we sat in a camper with Marty and Alma Luebben. They must have come from Texas, if I remember. And we played games at the activity center. And I remember doing a lot of things with certain cousins. I tell you, we lived on the Sioux Valley Road, and we hung tires with some of them. I won't mention names, but I better not. And boy, they said, Tootie. My nickname was Tootie. They said, run to the house. And I was in the house, and the rest of them were all out there. They were hunting for the people that hung them tires. Tires were short those days.
You need to tell them what you did with the tires.
They pulled them in when they stopped for the tires.
Right, they put them on the road,
Yeah, they put them on the road.
and when a car came,
Stopped,
they would pull them into the ditch. They were real good kids.
A lot of things for certain houses, we were the naughty ones. I remember snowmobiling with Arnie and Ella and Bud Minnie Walker.
Yeah.
We had 3 snowmobiles when we were racing, and our Yamaha won them. And I know I fell off with Arnie.
Yep.
I remember a lot of things I did with my cousins. We had a lot of fun.
Very nice.
Who are your brothers and sisters? Who are your
Brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay.
You can stay sitting.
My brothers and sisters were Herbert, Alan, Tungman, Bernice Beam, and then she married Bernice Bodley, and then Lauren Lubben, and myself. Anything else I forget? I could tell a lot of stories, but I better not. Oh, I got word that my brother's Charlotte Lubben, my brother was married to her husband that she's married to now, had passed away up north.
When was this, Irene?
Well, I'll tell you, they didn't even let me know, and I'm the only one left in the family. They let Timmy Tungman know.
Well, when was it?
Well, I suppose about a month and a half ago.
Oh, I wondered about that.
Good job, Irene. Okay, next.
Bertha Anderson, Luebben Anderson. And I'm the baby, like Ruth said, of our family, like she was. And Dorothy Grace and I are the only one left out of 9. And I remember one of the last reunions at Aunt Bertha and Uncle Rudy's place. We always called our grandma and grandpa there Oma and Opa. We knew them by none else than Oma and Opa. That was German. And they lived, like they said, in the same house, not too much dividing them. And us kids always played tree tag back then. We had to find our own entertainment, and we probably had a ball, or we would play handy-eye over in the garage. And I remember when Uncle Rudy and Aunt Bertha built their new house, and we thought that was really neat. So and I also remember the Christmas reunion we had, Christmas get-together we had here at the reunion. And Dorothy Grace did that in July. And what else? I want to thank Jane and all the rest that did such a good job for all this for the last 2 years. She did a marvelous job, and I think next year we should have all the second cousins up here telling stories about their life, and it'd be just as interesting as ours. Thank you.
That's a good idea.